Hey, today I'm looking at the Spyderco Tenacious. This is an older model, but new. I purchased this. This is the poor man's Spyderco these days, I guess. It's got the, look, I'm just, gotta work on that. It's, you got to do what you got to do. If you want Spyderco, and you don't have $180 for the PM2 with G10, you got to get creative. Yeah, it's 8CR, MOV 13, blah, 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 steel. A lot of people don't like that 8CR, but if it's done by the right company, like Spyderco, Cold Steel, I could go on for quite a few where they do their own heat treats. They do, serious steel select when it comes to stock and inventory. You're going to want to maybe steer away from 8CR when you're dealing with a much cheaper brand, a brand of lesser notoriety. You're going to want to go with a better steel with the hopes that they're not getting you on that. And that's just companies, generic companies that I don't need to worry about as far as saying negative things, because there's bad companies out there. Not all, even some of the really good companies. Sorry, my hands are always dirty in these because the first thing I do when I come into the shop is I load up my wood stove, and I end up getting carbon all over me and whatever. I've got a wood stove and a pellet stove in my shop. So I probably should wash my hands after, but I don't have a sink in the shop, so I just let it go. It shouldn't matter. But this Tenacious is a pretty good option if for some reason, if you can't afford the Mannix, the Paratrooper 2, 3. Right now, those are the three really hot ones, if you ask me. I really want a Mannix. I've said that before on videos. So the deployment methods on this knife is only going to be, say, the reverse flick, if I can get it right there, or it's on washers. It's a tactical knife, so you're not going to get, unless you loosen the pivot up too much and then you got play in the blade. It is what it is. You got some knives you're going to be able to toy with, and some knives you're not. This isn't really a toy knife. It's a man's knife. So it's got the flat grind, clip point. It has a 4-point ambidextrous clip, tip up, tip down option. It's not a deep carry. Which is fine. Liner lock, G10. This is running you somewhere around, I'm going to say $53, $55, and it's worth every penny and then some. This is a Spyderco. To me, Spyderco can do no wrong, except for some of these new blades they came out with. The styles are kind of weird looking, a real funky version. I can't even pronounce the name of the knife, but it's a real funky version of the like a Warncliffe, or it's not sheep's foot. It's just weird looking, but it's probably going to serve somebody fantastic utilitarian purposes. It's gonna serve them incredible. That's like a hawksbill blade, is for a certain thing. Tanto, you almost get 2 points, which is nice. For some people that are working in the warehouse, stuff like that. So it's really, that's another great thing about knives, is you can personalize a knife without even doing any modifications. A knife to me is personalized if that blade works for me. It doesn't go dull too quick. It's easy to sharpen, holds an edge okay, but then also has the geometric purposes, you know, as far as a nice belly, decent drop. That's important to me. Another person, they may really like, you know, a cliff point or a Warncliffe. That's really popular. And the QSP Penguin is a great example of a great Warncliffe, if you ask me. You know, it's a $40, $50 knife. QSP, great materials, great knife. But it can be personalized. Like I like G10 in my Carta like everybody else. I hate plastic handles anymore. I've become a FRN, whatever, all these different acronyms they have for it. I've become a plastic handle knife snob. That's as far as I can go right now. Really great access to the lock. You know, I like that a lot. I like that all these knife companies now, they started listening to hipsters out there, and they really love their scales to cover they don't want to see the liner lock, blah, blah, blah. That's garbage, man. You got to have access to it. It's important to have access to that lock, you know. Nice curvature, kind of choil jibbing right here. Great for closing it up safely with one hand. You know, it's just pretty tight. And with my hands and my inability to really get crazy with flipping and stuff, like my thumb wants to roll over onto the blade when I'm doing this on this knife. So it's probably not a perfect fidget fit for my hand, but it's definitely a great work fit. When I'm in the shop, last thing I'm worried about doing is some fancy reverse flick when I'm in the shop. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna save that because I don't succeed all the time with that. See, I don't want to do that when I'm in front of somebody that I'm trying to impress. They're not going to be impressed. So you got to save that energy. You got to save it for that date when you're out with your, you know, new girlfriend or your wife. Me and my wife do date nights, Fridays, Saturdays. Every night's date night. So when I'm with my wife and I don't want to do that, that's a fail. That is that's a no-no. Sitting at the table, cut your steak up with your girlfriend. She's going nuts. She's like, look at that dude go. He's got a Spyderco. He just did a reverse flip. Now he's cutting his filet mignon. Look, and then say now you got Reggie across the table from him with his new girlfriend, and he just pulls a reverse flip because he saw you do it. And it goes like that. And then he goes to cut his pork chop because he can't afford a steak. That guy's just failing. He's not hitting. You're hitting because you saved your flick. Oh, don't do that either. That's really, your girl get up and leave. You do that, boom. Panties are dropping. It's getting crazy up in there. You know what I'm saying? This is cool. This is a nice knife. This is, like I said, you take it to dinner, take it on a date. But really, its best place is in the shop. Wife brings you out a cup of coffee. She brings you out a cinnamon roll. You do that, she don't care. She loves you. Cut that cinnamon roll up. Drink some coffee. Sitting by your wood shop tools. You feeling like letting out a manly groan. You hold yourself back a little because it's, you know, that's Tim Allen's thing. So you got to find something else. That something else is sitting there with your wife, practicing Flip. That's a good knife.